I've been getting back into the swing of going live, and on this live stream I'm going to practice using this stock knife that I restored today, I suppose. How can I take off my jumper without de-crowning myself? There we go. Yeah, where was I? So yeah, it's a new tool for me, something I'm gonna have to get used to using. So when better to practice than on a nice live stream? So you basically just got a lot of leverage on a sharp edge. Traditionally, this type of tool would have been used by clog makers to make wooden shoes, clogs. But you can also use them to do other wonderful things, like make furniture, which is probably what I'm going to be doing. Seeing as clog making is a whole other craft in itself, it's not something you can kind of just dip your toe in, really. I'm sure I could give it a go, but I doubt what I'd make would be good. Or maybe that's the wrong attitude. I don't know. There's a fine line between giving something a go and what's the word? Traditional craft blasphemy. But what other tool could do this, you know? What other tool could slice down across a piece of timber like that and just... Do you know what I mean? There's just no other tool that could do this. It's incredible, really. Now let's try put a point on it. Well, I'll do one more thing first. So this would be now if we were making a tenon that would stick into a mortise, like the legs here, for example, just down there. Now I did oil it just before the live stream, so I think that has made the surface very slippery, which isn't ideal, but what can you do? I know this would have been used as well for making pegs at one stage. Did I bring the chair? I did bring to the chair. I did a speech about a book recently in a local university, and I came on live a few nights ago to practice, and someone very cleverly suggested that I bring a prop. So I brought a Sugan chair and a milking stool, a three-legged milking stool. And you know, it went very well, and I got to meet the author of the book for the first time. The book, by the way, was Irish Country Furniture by Claudia Kinmouth. Basically my Bible here in the workshop. If you're interested in traditional woodworking and Irish heritage and culture, that's the book for you. What part of Ireland am I from? I'm from the south, County Cork. Jade Jones said hi. Waving emoji. What's the best place to visit in County Cork? The city is actually very nice. We take it for granted. I suppose everyone does. What's right in front of you your whole life you don't realize until you go away and you see other places that you realize how good your own city. You know, we've got a very old city in Cork. There's beautiful old buildings, and it was a big port town at one stage, so steeped in history, gorgeous architecture, great pubs. The city's beautiful, so if you do make it as far as the city, head west then. West Cork is also beautiful. It's kind of more colourful than some of the other western peninsulas along the west coast of Ireland. I think anyway, it's there was a lot of kind of, I suppose, hippies moved there towards the latter few decades of the 20th century, and because of that there's a lot of kind of alternative, colourful, vibrant ways of life that have taken place out there. Or that's just kind of like an atmosphere going into a pub. The whole of West Cork has its own kind of atmosphere. You know, I could explain it all I want. Just go there for yourselves and figure it out. Am I making a vampire steak? This would be a great way of making a vampire steak, wouldn't it? But no, I'm trying to learn a new tool. Did I ever visit the Netherlands? I think I've been to Amsterdam once, alright. I don't know, does that count? Really? It'd be like someone saying they've been to Ireland, but they've only ever been to Dublin. The first thing I ever made out of wood, I remember I tried to make a dovetail box with no woodworking experience. Obviously that didn't go too well for me. So then I think I took a step back, and first thing I kind of made properly was probably a milking stool. Okay, so you can't really cut above 6 inches on these things, I have found. I think that's so cool that you can just cut straight down across the grain. There is no other tool in woodworking that'll let you do that. Do I know about the facons? The facon what? The facon knives, I don't. Is this a facon knife? I was warned this tool is known for its tendencies to steal fingers, so I'll have to be careful. Strange feller says, "Hi Eoin, you've inspired me to become a woodworker and learn about trees, but I can't stop collecting axes." There are worse addictions, my friend. I'm delighted. That's kind of the best comment I can receive, is that someone saw my videos and decided, oh, I'll do that. That's easy. Because it really is easy. There's nothing difficult about woodworking. It's what we're meant to do. We're meant to work with our hands. The human animal that longs for a craft. And I'm not even doing anything right now. I'm just sedating my mind, watching a sharp blade slice through hazel, because it's just fun to watch, I guess. Fun to hear the sound of fibers being sliced through. It's fun to force an object through something and feel the resistance in the material. But anyway, that's probably enough of this malarkey for the night. I'm going to go do something else for a while. Alright, super chat in from Odin the All-Father. Love your videos. You taught me a lot about woodworking. How woodworking was done before power tools. Well, we aim to teach. Because those who can't teach. That's a lovely compliment. Thank you. Right, let's get some oak. Alright, this is some American white oak. No, American red oak, which is good for external outdoor uses, I'm told. So I made a fireplace recently, or a mantelpiece, and I'll show it to you guys really quick, why don't I? Switch new. So this is the mantelpiece I was working on recently. See, I carved a little harp in there. So now I just need to make the brackets that'll hang it up onto the wall, which I'm going to make out of this here piece of oak. I paid €10 cash for this in a joinery shop not too far from where I live. I find that's a great place to get timber if you're kind of just starting off on woodworking. You're obviously not going to buy a pallet full of thousands of euro worth of wood, but joinery shops throw away offcuts like this every day. Well, they don't throw them away, they keep them in a pile until a sucker like me walks in and pays them beautiful paper money for a piece of oak. I know I do have a sawmill, but I didn't have any seasoned. I've only had the sawmill less than a year, so all the timber I do have is still drying out, and this is the right stuff here. So what I'm doing now is using a scrub plane to remove this kind of chatter. I don't know if it comes up very well on camera, but how do I get down? It removes all the kind of the fluffiness left behind from the sawmill. The grain is all flowing in the same direction here, so we're just going with the grain and moving. It's annoying me that the camera's wobbling, but what can you do? You recently bought your own flat cap. Cool. We're reviving the style, guys. They never went out of fashion. I love the finish left behind by a scrub plane. It's not actually flat, it's kind of all scalloped and stuff. don't know, guys, can you hear it? But the rain is banging off the tin roof. I love that noise. Hey, 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 hey. Now, super chat in from Chris Ballock, who says, "Much love, brother. Thank you for my necklace." Ah, you bought one of the pint pendants. Good man. Well, there'll be more of them coming out soon, I hope. I really must get around to making them, because they're a good money maker as well. They're fun to make. Little bog oak pint pendants that end up all over the world. How cool is that? Another super chat in from Chris again. Yeah, also yearning for the rain here. Yeah, also yearning for the rain here on much in the roof. Okay. So you guys can hear it. Oh, it's really coming down now, lads. I don't know, will you even hear me? I do see the comments. I just can't respond to all of them, I'm afraid. Weirdly eerie. Do a kick flip. I'd be worried if I did a kick flip, I'd actually fall down through the floor. Mr. Dusk sent a fox holding a paintbrush. The Red Mila Mahagut, the Kharja. Mahara, I suppose. The Kharja is plural. Another super chat in from Ferry Mackenzie. Hey Owen, Lou with the ball peen axe again. Hope you're keeping well, son. Amazing. How did you get on with your house restoration? I hope it went well for you. That's one of my favourite videos. Last summer, when working in Bunratty Castle, myself and James we took an old ball peen hammer and James forged it into an axe, and I made the handle. And it was a really cute little axe. And Lou here bought it on the spot and brought it back to Scotland, right? Can you guys hear me? Because I feel like I'm shouting over the rain. Now don't get me wrong, rain on a tin roof sounds better than me any day, but just said I double check. I'm 24. I got a haircut today actually, and I was looking in the mirror and I am going so bald, so quick. So I probably look older than I am. Saint says, this is my first name in Irish. Braig. I've never come across that name before in all my years living in Ireland. Fiona Taylor says, the rain and you working are the background to me studying. Cool. That's a nice scene in my head anyway. I adore the sound of rain hitting a roof. My favourite rain sound of all is in a tent in the rain, like a billion little attacks on your dryness and a tiny millimetre of canvas keeping you dry. Love the sound of rain in a tent. Second to that is rain hitting the roof of a car. I love that as well. Sometimes if I'm parked up and the rain is hitting down on the roof, especially when it's dark, I'll stay in the car an extra few minutes just to, I don't know, white noise. It's nice, isn't it? And then third is rain hitting the workshop roof, because it's nice for a live stream, but if I'm recording a video, I can't. It's just too noisy. Charity S says, love your videos here in northern Minnesota, USA. Well, thank you very much, Charity S. How did the presentation go? It went well. Do you know what? I'm glad it's over now. And it was a bit messy and whatever, but you know what? I wasn't being paid. I had no one to let down, really. Only myself. And I don't think I let myself down. And that is all that matters. At the end of the day, really. Not in all circumstances, but in this one. That song by the Beatles, And I Love Her, is stuck in my head. With that guitar riff or whatever it's called at the start. Do, 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 do. Oh lads, it's bucketing down at the minute. Sometimes the rain gets so intense that it comes through the roof somehow. And then there's a rusty tool or something to be dealt with. Bit late for work, no such thing. Live again so soon. Yep, I'm doing more live streams now. That's my my winter's resolution. I wasn't in the mood for live streams all summer long with the shows and stuff, but now that I'm back around home more often, you'll see a lot more live streams, please God. Gabriel Walters says, I was planning on getting into woodwork. Any tips? Pick a project and just do it. Go for it. Don't waste another second thinking about it. Pick something you want to make, and by any means possible, go make it. Drop of water just fell on my hand. How it got in, I'll never know. Ferry Mackenzie says, I've sent you a DM on Instagram with a picture of it. Cool. I look forward to having a look at it. Now I am very wary about checking my Instagram messages. I learned very early on the hazards of opening a photograph that was sent out of the blue. But I look out for your one. A golf club, that would be a good one. Not too heavy. It's a Stanley number 40, so it's a scrub plane. It's got a really open mouth and a really cambered edge, so it's not really done for finishing work. It's used for kind of hogging off large amounts of materials quickly, but for this particular piece I can afford to give it a rough scalloped look. It's getting really bad out there, lads. I didn't check the weather forecast. I didn't know this was coming. Like really bad. It's pouring where I am in the States. Very good. I've always assumed you're somewhere in Europe. No, I'm in Ireland. So technically Europe, yeah, but an island nation off the western coast of Europe. Somewhere in Europe tonight. Looking quirked up. What does quirked up mean? Have I ever been to America? No. I would have liked to go to America, but I think the current economical and political climate would discourage me from holiday making at the moment. But maybe not. Maybe it's just kind of the news is blowing everything out of proportion, and there's parts of America where just things are normal and people would work in rural locations unbothered. I'm sure that must exist. No, there's no way. Yeah, the media makes America out to be just a never-ending slew of protests and gun violence, which I'm sure it's not. You know, the media, the global media, at one point portrayed Ireland as the worst country in the world for bombs during the Troubles, I suppose. Exactly, it depends where you are. Slán go fóill, so that's what I say at the end of my videos. It means goodbye for now in Irish. What am I making? I'm making a bracket to hold a mantelpiece onto a wall. Alaska is the same size as all other states combined. Really? That can't be true. Is that correct? No, Alaska isn't. Okay, we've got opposing reports here. Can someone let me know how many square kilometers Alaska is and how many square kilometers the entire other 49 states of the United States of America are combined? Do I sell the shavings or I just get rid of them? I use them to start fires. I think some people use them as animal bedding, or I think they can compost. Never tried though. I was on BBC Radio. How did it go? I remember I was interviewed for that donkeys years ago. I remember I was 2 pints. After 2 pints when that radio interview came up to me. So I was like, oh God, quickly sober up. Not that I was drunk, but just that you'd be thinking a little bit differently after 2 pints. So hopefully I came across as composed and sober as I was pretending to be. So Alaska is 1.7 million square kilometers. How many square kilometers is the rest of America? Because if something had come up in like a pub quiz, what is the biggest American state? I would have said Texas. Is that right? And America combined is 17 million kilometers? Okay, so America is 1.7. I'll just Google it myself, I think, when I get home. Alaska is the biggest state. Okay. Texas has the biggest ego. Right. I think we've got this idea in Ireland that everything is bigger in America. It's not an idea. I genuinely am convinced. Your cars are bigger, your meal portions are bigger, your human beings are bigger. It's a bigger country, you know. You can drive the full length of Ireland in 5 or 6 hours. That'd probably only get you to the next town over in America. I'm not sure where I was going with that train of thought. What's the Texas of Ireland? Cork! That's where I'm from. We're actually the biggest county, Cork. Oh yeah, but Texas kind of is America embodified. It's like big trucks, fast food, and guns. That's what I think of. That's what jumps into my mind when I think of Texas. And, you know, very kind of an American stereotype, I'm sure. So the American stereotype of Ireland doesn't really exist anymore. Thatched cottages and rolling meadows and quiet villages. They do exist to a certain extent, but not nearly so much as they were portrayed in popular American movies of the 20th century. But if a county was to represent that, it'd probably be like Clare or Kerry, but only because they play into the Tourism Act, you know? They play the paddy. Ireland has been gentrified. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm trying to buy a house and it's impossible. Leprechaun economics. We have the fastest growing economy in the world there for a few years, all because of how we allow American multinational billion-dollar corporations funnel their taxes through us to basically avoid paying them. Yeah. Please do a UK tour. The organisation involved in doing it is kind of the main thing putting me off doing it. I'd love to go to the UK and visit a bunch of crafts people because there's so many of them there. But yeah, you know, I may as well do it in winter. But what am I saying? Yeah, it's just finding the time. There's so much to do. I have to pick and choose who I'd go visit and where and what. There's just so much interesting heritage people and heritage sites to visit in England. I'm nearly spoiled for choice. Too much choice is definitely a bad thing. Right, lads, I think I'm going to answer a few more questions and then call it a night. I'm so depressed. Can you give me some advice? I'm the same age as you and I'm so lost I feel broken. That's quite a heavy one to read. God, I don't know am I equipped to answer that. Woodworking is my therapy. When I feel bad, that's what I do. I wouldn't worry about feeling lost at this age. We're young, 24. Whole lives ahead of us. Nothing to be worried about, really. You know. Each new day is a new beginning, a new opportunity. It's bound to rise at some point. Do I ever work with big wood? If it's too heavy for me to lift without machinery, then I don't work with it. Yeah, that's... What do you think of whittling? I love whittling. I'm interested in all sorts of woodworking. Oh god, that's a bot, I think, is it? Temu Cheap Shop. Oh, I meant bogwood. Yes, okay, I do. I don't work with big wood, but I often work with bogwood because it's so cool that you can work with timber that was a living tree thousands of years ago, and that's just a normal thing that we dig up all the time in Ireland. Oh, I love this country. Alright, I think I'm going to call it there, lads, because it's 11:15. It's my bedtime. Good night, and see you in the next one.